Today we're going to talk about the Precheck Payroll Register over here in our Sage HRMS. We'll find that here along in our flowchart under the Precheck Payroll Register. So we'll go ahead and click that there. A couple of options that we have here. We have the availability to see it in detail or in summary. So when we see it in detail, we can choose an employee number range, or we choose a check date range. Different, we're running in different types of frequencies, or if we are using a selection list. A couple of other options here is including our detail hours, general ledger, some other options within that, and our sort feature. So sorting by a number or a name, even a class. So one of our classes may be based on corporate, and then we can sort again by either the employee number or the name, depending on how we want to take a look at this report. I'm going to go ahead and close this one up so that we have it by employee name, and number. And we're going to go ahead and use the detail here. Now, one of the things is that if you leave the check date blank here through the end date here, then you're going to get every check. So you want to make sure that the end date here is equal to or greater than your paycheck date that you ran the payroll for. In our case, our paycheck date is actually 4/10 also. So we're going to go ahead and come down here at the bottom left hand side and go ahead and print this. So while this is printing and gathering our information, I'm going to go ahead and see that view, and let me just open that up so we can see it a little bit more. And we're going to take a look here at one of our employees. So this one here is Mary Stewart. So let's take a look at some of the things that we have here on our Precheck Payroll Register to view. The employee name and ID number are located here in the top left. Check date, and then the amount of the check is listed here. You'll note that there is no check number that's been given to this because it is in a pre-check mode. So once we have actually posted it, our check register will give us our check register in here. It's also giving us our period start and our period end date, as well as that check date up here. Everything in the system goes from top to bottom: earnings and deductions, then taxes for the employee, and then the employer portions here at the bottom. Couple of things here at the top to look at. We have our earnings and deductions. So this is the regular amount and the amount that is paid to the employee. Next to that is going to be our general ledger number for our expenses and for our liabilities within here. The hours in which we have paid the employee and the rate, amount, or percent that we're using for that employee. The next step down is going to be our deductions. For each one of the deductions are listed here. Over on the right hand side, we'll see the rate, amount, of percent of those deductions. So since this one here is a 401k, we have a 12% that's indicated here, calculating on a pieces of base here to total the deduction amount over here. And that pieces of base is actually coming in from here. So if we have any type of our taxes, like our Social Security and Medicare listed here, then over here we have our calculated pieces of base for that amount, which is going to be our total earnings less any type of pre-tax deduction to total to our taxable portion amount here to equal our medical and Social Security and our California wages in this case. Then the taxes are going to list here. If there is nothing below here, then it's going to indicate that this is a check. If there is something that's listed here, like it'll say EFT and then a code, then that amount is letting us know that this employee has a direct deposit and the amounts will be deposited in those accounts. The employer portion down here is anything that pertains to the employer only. Might be an employer benefit. It's the employer taxes, med and social security of the employer side. The FUTA for a state and federal FUTA here, any specific calculated California local wages or any other local wages that we might have. And then the employer's portion of any benefit that we have listed at the top: medical, dental, and vision, or any other type of benefit. Over on the right hand side, it's again giving me my calculated tax base here, the percent that's being used for that, and then the employer's total portions here that would relate over here to this side over here. So all the information that we have listed here for each employee is going to be the same, but it's going to fluctuate depending on the employee itself and what they're being paid. Here's an example of somebody having a direct deposit account with the account number and the amount that's going to go into that. At the very end of the report, we have a little bit of an option here for our totals. It's giving us our salary wages total and our hours total here, any type of vacation pay, and then it's breaking my earnings, my deductions, and my taxes down with a total net amount of checks with any reimbursements, employer contributions, and our taxes within here, and the amount of checks that will be issued within this drawing here. Another way to take a look at this report is actually using it from the summary side instead of the detail. When we have the summary side, it just breaks it down into something a little bit more easier to read based on the amount of the check, the total earnings, deductions, and taxes. Notice again, no check number is listed here, and then the check dates here. And then at the end of the report, we have some basic totals again for amount of checks, earnings, and taxes, and how many checks will be printed within this. So what we want to do is just take a look at this report, make sure that all the information that we see is okay, have any issues. If we have a general ledger issue, maybe a wrong GL or something like that, then we'll be noted by the general ledger portions here you see that have the dashes in between. They would be smushed together, indicating no separation within the different cost centers. When that happens, that's actually indicating a wrong general ledger number with that. So we want to kind of take a look at that information also. If we find something wrong or something that we need to adjust, then we just go ahead, back out, close everything out, make our changes to whatever we need to, and go ahead, recalculate our payroll, and take another look at our pre-check register from here.